State of Vajradhara. Okay, let's go to the 4 limitless contemplations, or the 4 immeasurables. May all beings have happiness and create the causes of happiness. May they all be free from suffering and creating the causes of suffering. May they find that noble happiness which can never be tainted by suffering. May they attain universal impartial compassion, free of worldly bias towards friends and enemies. Sem jendam je dewatang deweju patang dempaju jig dungal tang dungal chichu tang trawaju jig dungal mepe dewa tampatang mindrawaju jig nearing chaktang ni tang trawe tang no jempo la ne paju jig. So good morning to all of you. If you could switch on your cameras, it would be lovely. I like to see your faces and I like to see how you are managing with the subject matter. So we're going to do today exploring the true meaning of the 100 peaceful and wrathful deities. And this is part 1. And I want you to butt in. I really want you to butt in as much as you can. Carissa, I don't know you, but you'll tell me afterwards who you are. And you can butt in at any time. I want to just take it step by step by step. And I want you to know that in the title of it, you can actually leave the word deities out of it if you want. You could just say the peaceful and wrathful ones, or the peaceful and wrathful, as it says in the title. It's really important. But in one of the main titles of this teaching, it emphasizes contemplation. And that's really, really important because we have to ponder and contemplate this. You can't give this and it comes in one session. You've got to go on and on and on, pondering this every day of your life, right up until you die, and then you can see it. And for some of you, you may even see it during this life. But the thing is, it's really important to know that I am not the expert in this. I had been pondering it for years, but I'm certainly not an expert. I regard myself as just on the same stage of the path as you. Maybe I can just throw in a few extra ideas so that I can give you the stimulation to make it possible for you to really absorb it and take it. But let's share. Stop me and say, I don't understand that, or what is that? Or to share one of your own experiences is really, really important, because this subject is perhaps one of the most auspicious subjects that can be taught in Tibetan Buddhism. It's sacred. I'm sort of upside down when I've got to teach it. And I went and taught it in Kensington, in the temple. It's so exquisite in that temple, and there were lots of people there. And I had prepared it, which I've still got that talk, but they didn't record it. And, but I wanted to go so much deeper. I just had to do an introduction then. And now I want to go really deeply with it, because it's the deepest look we can make within ourselves, the deepest look, okay? And it's really, really important. And when I asked Taisitu Rinpoche if he would empower us to practice the 100 peaceful and wrathful deities, he said that he would only be able to give us the empowerment over 5 years. Okay, so each time we went, he would give another part of the empowerment, then you'd have to go and practice for a year and then come again, just to give you a sort of idea of the extent of the richness and the auspiciousness of that practice. And he also said it would be a practice that takes us to the end of our lives. So whatever else you are doing in your practices, you continue, but this forms the basis. For me, it forms the basis of everything, of all my practice and everything that I'm trying to do. In other words, it incorporates everything we need to know and recognize, both in this life and the afterlife. Okay, so Bern, just to show you how prominent the peaceful and wrathful ones are, and I'll explain everything to you. We're just going to recite one of the Bardo prayers, and I want you to note as you recite this prayer how many times the peaceful and wrathful appear in the prayer. Thanks, Bern. I hope you didn't have to retype it because it's fine like it was. Wow. She always does a job. The Bardo prayer, which protects us from fear. Okay, so let's go. That's beautiful. Okay. Let's all say it together. When the journey of my life has reached its end, and since no relatives go with me from this world, I wander in the Bardo state alone. May the peaceful and wrathful Buddhas send out the power of their compassion and clear away the dense darkness of ignorance, ignoring the truth. When parted from beloved friends, wandering alone, my own projections, empty forms appear. May the Buddhas send out the power of their compassion so that the Bardo terrors do not come. Repeat it with me, please. When the 5 luminous lights of wisdom shine, because this is the journey as you're going along, fearlessly may I recognize myself. When the forms of the peaceful and wrathful ones appear, fearless and confident, may I recognize the Bardo. Beautiful, Burner, you've done it. When I suffer from the power of evil karma, may the peaceful and wrathful Buddhas clear away suffering. When the sound of Dharmata roars like 1,000 thunders, may it be transformed into the sound of Mahayana teachings. When I follow my karma without a refuge, may the peaceful and wrathful Buddhas be my refuge. When I suffer the karma of unconscious tendencies, may the samadhi of bliss and luminosity arise. At the moment of spontaneous birth in the Bardo of becoming, that's the 3rd Bardo, may the false teachings of the tempters not arise. When I arrive wherever I wish by supernatural power, may the illusory terrors of evil karma not arise. When savage beasts of prey are roaring, may it become the sound of Dharma, the 6 syllables. When I am chased by snow, rain, wind, and darkness, may I receive the clear divine eye of wisdom. May all sentient beings of the same realm in the Bardo, free from jealousy, be born in a higher state. When great thirst and hunger are caused by passions, may the pain of thirst and hunger, heat and cold not arise. When I see my future parents in union, may I see the peaceful and wrathful Buddhas with their consorts, with power to choose my birthplace for the good of others. May I receive a perfect body adorned with auspicious signs. Obtaining for myself a perfect human body, may all who see and hear me at once be liberated. May I not follow all of my evil karma, but follow and increase what merit I may have. Whenever I am born at that very place, may I meet the Yidam of this life face to face, knowing how to walk and talk as soon as I am born, not wait for babyhood. May I attain the power of non-forgetfulness and remembrance of past lives. In all of the stages of learning, high, middle, and low, may I understand just by hearing, thinking, and seeing. Whenever I am born, may that land be blessed so that all sentient beings may be happy. Oh, peaceful and wrathful Buddhas, may I and others become just like yourselves, just as you are. We already are like them, but we still ask. With your forms and your auspicious marks, your retinue, your long life, and your realms, Samanta Bhadra, the peaceful and wrathful ones, infinite compassion, the power of truth of the poor Dhammata, and followers of Tantra in one-pointed meditation, may their blessing fulfill this inspiration prayer. Now that, I know it's a very long prayer. It's a Bardo that protects you from fear. But you know, I do that, not every day, but I do that very, very often. Because it's in English, it's easy to understand, and when you do it, you are already connecting with that, and it's really important for you that you are able to connect with that right from the word go. And so that English prayer is really, really good, and Bern will send it to you if you write to her, I'm sure, and you did it beautifully. And poor Bern, I send her things the night before, the morning, early morning, and everything, and then she does it for me, and it's most appreciated. She goes, I can't. Then I go, just do what you can, and then these beautiful things arrive for all of you. So thank you, Bern, very much for that. And it's really, very important. So let's look very carefully in the book, The Natural Liberation, Padmasambhava's teaching on the 6 bardos. You should all have that book as a kind of a diary. It's really worth having that book, The Natural Liberation, Padmasambhava's teachings on the 6 bardos. You don't have to read it like a novel. You just go to it all the time. It refers at mine is actually falling apart at the seams, okay, as a few of my books are. But that's good. That's a good discovery. The real title of this text, discovered by Karma Lingpa in the 14th century, is as a terma, is a companion to the Tibetan Book of the Dead. So it goes with the Tibetan Book of the Dead, which is really famous, from many years ago. The Tibetan Book of the Dead was there to help us through the whole journey of death and everything. And it was entitled, now I'm giving you the true title, you could take it down if you want, The Profound Dharma of the Natural Liberation through Contemplating the Peaceful and Wrathful. Doesn't say deities, it just says through contemplating the peaceful and wrathful. And then 2 dots, and then it goes, the stage of completion instruction on the 6 bardos. So the profound dharma of the natural liberation through contemplating the peaceful and wrathful, you'll get it if you've got the book, the stage of completion instruction on the 6 bardos. That was composed in the 8th century. Guru Rinpoche gave it to Yeshe Tsogyal, and as a lot of you know the story, she actually buried it, and then it's the most fascinating thing. Before I explain that to you, I just want to say there's an alternative translation of the title as well. It goes, the natural emergence of the peaceful and wrathful, no deities, the natural emergence of the peaceful and wrathful from enlightened awareness. So Guru Rinpoche is saying to us, come on, everybody, get enlightened awareness. Know that you are the 100 deities. You are compiled. Leave the word deities, the 100 qualities if you want to. And that you have that in you. And that as soon as your physical body dissolves, there it will be. So you really need to know it. If you know it, then when you come to the bardos, when you come to the second bardo, and the 100 deities are in front of you, because in the bardos, because you haven't got a physical body, it's all in front of you, you won't be scared. You'll be so excited because you'll say, oh, I know this. I know what I have to do. I've seen this. I understand this. And you'll know. And people ask all the time, so will those deities be Buddhist deities? What happens if you're not Buddhist? So it doesn't matter. You can see those deities as angels, as facets, as whatever you want to. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's Buddha deities. You can see it in any way that you really want. But the title is amazing. And if you look at the sacredness of a Theravada text, now think about this. Here is this unbelievable Buddha called Guru Rinpoche, okay, or Padmasambhava if you want to. who's appeared on the earth, okay, and he, with his absolute Buddha mind, can see right ahead of centuries. And he can go, you know what? At this time of degeneration, beings will need this teaching. And he dictates that teaching. And one of his disciples, mostly Yeshe Togyo, writes it down, buries it. Sometimes it goes into you can have a mind terma where it's buried in somebody's mind, buries it in the ocean, in a cave, anything, to be discovered at the particular point when it is needed. Now, if you take Tara practice, which a lot of you do, Tara practice was only discovered about 100 years ago. And it was discovered because people needed the Tara in them to go forward with everything they needed in their lives. So therefore it was buried and discovered. Sometimes Guru Rinpoche manifests himself and takes it out, but many times of his very close disciples, he puts it into them, and then they come onto earth and suddenly they go, there's something I have to do. There's something I have to do. And then they know where to go, when to go. They go in, and people have witnessed them taking these termas out of the cave, okay? People witness it. It's not a supernatural thing. It's actually the opening and the taking out. And then the terma is in Dakini script. So none of us could understand a single word of it. Only the people who are really destined to find it are able to find it, okay? And then they are able to transcribe it and make it into human language so that we can get it. And what is absolutely amazing is if they should make a mistake, one mistake, it'll go on and on and on in their minds until they've corrected it. Isn't that amazing? I mean, it's got to be absolutely Padmasambhava's absolute stuff. It can't be anything else. So it's such an amazing thing at Terma. Now, he left all these teachings in the Bardo teachings, and in that book, Natural Liberation, you get it all. And don't try and read it in one go. Just read bits and pieces of it so that you can really begin to start seeing. What are you seeing? You're seeing your own self. You're not seeing something outside. You're seeing who you really are. Not this Melanie who's going through a temporary transient drama, whatever, in her life. You see yourself as who you really are. And once you can do that, you are free. And at the end of the termas, it gets these words: Samaya, sealed, sealed, sealed. Very important words at the end of a text. And what it really means is, Samaya, those who handle these texts should remember their Samaya or their tantric pledges. Don't mess up on it. Don't throw it around and drop it and all these kind of things, because the Dakinis will be at you, I promise you, straight away, because they protect these teachings like nobody's business. That's why they're written in Dakini script, not in script that we can read. But we really have to say to ourselves, wow, I am so blessed. I have the merit to warrant me finding these teachings. When you can understand that, you can open everything, all the doors of your life. Okay, none of you would be sitting here if you hadn't had the merit to be able to learn this and get this in the way that you need. So don't underestimate yourselves. You wouldn't be here if you weren't able. I promise you, people who are not meant to be at these kind of teachings are never there. And it's really, really, really interesting, because a lot of people, when I taught it at Kensington, came up to me afterwards that I'd known from years away. They said, oh, Melanie, it's so nice to see you, and I've enjoyed the teachings, and can I come to some of your group? said with pleasure, well, I've hardly seen one of them, okay? I sent them, but they don't come, because you won't get there. If you haven't got the karma and the merit, you won't get there because you won't understand it. So I'm going to try and make it as simple as possible as I can. And you ask. If I don't know the answer, I'll look it up and answer you. I just want to say that end of the thing goes Samaya, sealed, okay? The next three words, sealed, are a warning that if someone other than the treasure revealer, they're called tertons, should come across these texts while they're still concealed, they should leave the text alone. Okay, they shouldn't try and get them out, even if they know there's something there. We need faith in the Dharma to be exposed to them. This was an earth treasure found by Karma Lingpa in the cave in central Tibet and is the companion to the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And I'm going to come to talk about a whole lot of things, but I just want to say about how I came to all these teachings, which is, for me, the minute, I found the book. I've now covered it because it looked like the dogs had it for breakfast. So at least I've covered it. Is Tulku Urgent's book, Dzogchen Deity Practice, okay? It is, and this is all about his practice of the 100 deities. Now, you can't do it, but I decided that I'm going to read it every single day. I'm going to read the whole practice. I started with teeny bits of it, and I was going to ask Taisitu Rinpoche. It never happened. He was away ill. So I just started reading it on my own, and every single day I do read it on my own. But if I look back, it's such an interesting thing, because I came to Tibetan Buddhism. I think a lot of you know the story that I was in a bookshop in London, and I just suddenly zooped across the bookshop, and there I was with Tibetan Buddhism. I'd never touched it in my life, okay? And my son said to me, Ma, I didn't know you were interested in Tibetan Buddhism. And I said, neither did I. Okay, I also didn't know, but I am. And I started buying all the books to cart home in my thing. But what happened very, very, very soon after I did that, I was in London and I heard that Akon Rinpoche was giving a course. And so I decided that I'd go. I knew nothing from nothing. Okay, I was very new to the teachings. I didn't know much at all. And when I look back at that, I just landed up. I didn't know anything. It was a course that Akon Rinpoche was giving. Apparently, he only gave a course about once every 20 years or something like that. And I happened to stumble across the course, okay? And in that course, first of all, Lama Yeshe Rinpoche, who was to be the person who would really, really help me, there was no room in the monastery for me to stay. So they put me up in the Pure Lands where Lama Yeshe Rinpoche happened to stay. And I was quite cross about it, that I'd come to Sabi Ling, and why was I being pushed up there? But of course, what did I know at that stage? And then as I was coming down to the monastery, Lama Yeshe Rinpoche, who lived in the Pure Lands, was going up. And I saw him, and I knew straight away the connection was already there. So it was absolutely amazing. And Akon Rinpoche gave this course. I didn't understand anything, okay? I think I've told all of you about this, so I won't go into too much detail, but I didn't understand. What he was doing in this course, he was doing Patrul Rinpoche. We won't look at it now, Bern, but he was doing Patrul Rinpoche, showing you what your anger, what your pride, what your desire and attachment, what your jealousy, what your ignorance, when you look at them that way, they are your wisdoms. They're not really true, those negative emotions. And he was doing this poetic thing that Patrul Rinpoche had done. I didn't understand it at all. But what I did was, immediately I got back, I got the copy of the prayer, and I started to say it every day. Don't ask me why, because that was just my particular destiny. And I began to understand that your negative emotions were not negative emotions, they were actually wisdoms. And that the five wisdom families were the basis of the 100 peaceful and wrathful, because what happened was, if you understood your true nature as the five wisdom families, those multiplied with all their entourage and became the 100 peaceful and wrathful one. So already I was being guided towards that, which was absolutely amazing. And then in my teaching, I was always asked to teach. I would take the five wisdoms. I did retreats on them. I did all sorts of things. A lot of you were there at that time. And I just really, really expanded into the 100 deities in that way. And then, I'm just telling you about my life and my journey. Yours might be more exciting than that. But then I went to Taisitu Rinpoche for 6 months in India. And when he asked me, first he made me clear my mind. And I think I've told you the story. I went to the Karmapa's monastery. All the Westerners were kicked out. And the Karmapa cleaned me up. I cried for about 2 weeks, cleaning up all my stuff. And then I came to Taisitu Rinpoche. And he said to me, now your mind is clear. What would you like? And I've told you a lot of times, through me came these two words that I didn't understand. They came from the Guru Rinpoche sadhana called Trekcho and Togal. Okay, I didn't know what they were. I knew they were something special, but I just heard my mouth asking for them, which is absolutely ridiculous. When I learned about them afterwards, I thought the cheek to even ask for them. And what he did was he looked a long time at my records, at my history. I was feeling so uncomfortable, but he was reading my records and everything. And then he said, okay. As soon as he said, okay, because that was an empowerment in itself, the memory started to come up of the fact that we are compiled of the 100 deities and we can find them inside us if we take our time. And those practices help us. I'll explain to you how they help us to understand who we really are. It's absolutely fascinating when we really look at it, okay? And so that was the beginning of it all. And since then, I've gone on the journey. I probably haven't made that much progress because I haven't had a teacher sitting next to me, but I do it all the time. And then I have these little jumps just from being faithful and true. I have these little jumps all the time into seeing something, understanding something, seeing what it's all about. You just have those insights when you have the faith to do stuff, and I'll give you lots of stuff you can do if you want to. So before I go on, and then of course I came across Tulku Urgent's Dzogchen deity practice, meeting your true nature. And in this, his very, very, very important practice is called Kunzang Tuktik. Okay, and it's part, they call it the Shitro teachings, but it's spelled with a Z. Shitro teachings. Okay, you can look it up. So there was this whole Shitro called the Karling Shitro, was the famous Terma that Karma Lingpa discovered, and the Tibetan Book of the Dead was a teeny little bit from that huge discovery. Okay, and we thought, wow, when we got the Tibetan Book of the Dead and all the Bardo teaching, we thought, wow, but it was a teeny bit from that. And the Kunzang Tuktik, which is Tulku Urgent's practice, okay, I do hold on to it, I've got to say, but that's his practice, is a very shortened, abbreviated version of that Karling Shitro, which was very famous, which he drew out. But as Tulku Urgent Rinpoche says, it's got everything in it. And if you have natural liberation and you have his Dzogchen deity practice of Tulku Urgent, then you've got all the equipment. You could just slowly look and carry on and find your own way, because each of us will find our own way, and I will explain to you how to do that very, very much. Okay. But that's what this mysterious practice is about. To practice this accumulates a lot of merit and purifies vast amounts of obscurations, and it's a really amazing thing. Okay, now before I go on to anything, let me open it up for you and see if anybody wants to comment, ask, say, whatever. I'm so happy if you do. Just ask, even what you think might be stupid questions or stupid comment, that's fine. Because I want you to feel this in your own hearts. So anything that you might want to know or share or discuss, don't think, oh, that's a stupid question. There are no stupid questions. Because whatever questions you're asking are very, very important. Anybody? Mimi, do you want to ask something? You're always the one that... No. Anybody? David? No.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
It seems to me that my default is on the wrathful side of these emanations, and that I have to actually, with intent, access the peaceful side. And I noticed that there are more wrathful deities than peaceful deities.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just the factor of being where we are on planet Earth at this time, that there's just such evidence of wrathfulness all around. And then to have the presence of mind to transmute those wrathful energies into the peaceful, it's kind of a full-time job.
But you know what? You know what I want to say to you, which is so interesting, and I'm so glad you brought that up. Try, instead of overcoming the wrathful deities, try and hug them. Try and accept them. Try and, let me see what I could have as a wrathful deity. Embrace them. Bring them into your heart, because when you do, they are amazing. Many of them have animal heads, and people say, "Yo, so fantastic." They have animal heads because the animal realm, which I think it's beautiful to have animals, and that's what I tell everybody. And of course, I have my animals, but the animals don't have choices. They're not free, and a lot of the animals have become aggressive. Probably in the beginning they weren't aggressive, but they become aggressive because we've interfered in their lives. We've driven them dilly. Maybe they just had a natural way of dealing with each other. Now, if you look at like those what do you call them that you see in the game reserve? I can't think now. I've got too much of the peaceful on my deer. Those little deer, the little whatever you call them, it doesn't matter. But the little buck that you see, and they're always shivering, and they're always looking like this to see if a lion's approaching them or something like that. And I always feel so sorry for them because they'll be gone, but actually they're not thinking, "I'm afraid." They are just, aware that their instinct tells them to be on the ball, so when they have animal heads, you find that those animal heads of the wrathful ones, when they are painted, and I'm going to get burned to show you one in a minute, the wrathful ones, when they are painted, are simply the peaceful ones in disguise, just to give you a clap and just to be in alignment with all your negative emotions. Okay, that's all they are, but they are beautiful. And they use a wrathful tone because most of us need a clap. That's all, and we create them like that. So it's a very interesting thing. Embrace them and go through them. Sometimes I look at their pictures. I've really made friends with them. Like if you look at Rahula is a really very, here he is. I'll show you, he's got all these faces. I don't know if you can see him, but he's got very ugly, you can't see him, okay, but he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 ugly faces with heads all on the side, and then he's got octopus thing. And I say every morning, good morning, Rahula. And then I do my practice, But I've looked at him and now he's kind of become very beautiful to me in all his ugliness. So that's the most important thing, not to say, oh, I'm like the wrathful deities, I've got so much work to do. No, just say, wow, who are you? Find inside yourself. Most of your negative emotions are there because of fear, because of not having the confidence, because we are afraid to make the crossing and things like that. Mostly that's why our negative emotions are there. So it's very, very interesting to actually look at that. And I thank you for that comment. Anyone else? Please, Wahida. Go ahead, just unmute yourself and then you mute yourself after you've spoken. Thank you.
Sorry, my connection is hear me.
We can hear you, yeah. Now we can't, but we can. Okay, go for it.
So maybe the connection is a bit. Yeah. Sorry.
Very bad sound, Wahida. I don't know why. Are you near your Wi-Fi? We can't hear your speech very well. I can see that you're on, but I can't hear your speech very well. Just try again. You can't hear.
No.
Yes. Okay. Now I can hear you.
Okay.
You know what, Wahida? Try if you can and just write it, and then I'll see it and I'll pick it up from you because your sound is very, very poor. We can't make out what you say. So we'll come back to your point. Okay, just try to type it in and then I'll have a look at it on the thing if you can. But just mute yourself again because otherwise the noise is coming through. Something not right in your sound. Thank you, my darling. Okay, anyone else? Right, just type yours in and I'll have a look at it. Anybody else want to say anything?
Melanie.
Yes, please, Kasturi. So happy to see you again. Well and beautiful.
Thank you. Understanding the wrathful deities, looking at my past experience recently, would I consider the wrathful deity standing in front of me where I cannot walk now? Is that a representation? Am I fighting it so hard that I am limiting myself? What is it?
Yeah, you might be. You might be fighting it so hard and not accepting your situation. I wouldn't say just mute yourself when I'm talking and then you can unmute yourself. I wouldn't say that the wrathful deities are your non-walking. But I think the wrathful deities are your reminder that everything is in its right place right now, okay? And that you need a lot of patience and that you need a lot of patience with yourself. Because if I look at you, you are a dynamite person and everyone can learn from this. You are a dynamite person. And over these last couple of years, particularly now, this last lot, you've been subjugated, you can't walk, you can't do things, you're so frustrated. Now, as soon as, and those wrathful deities are the frustration, the disappointment, and everything, but what they are telling you is so exquisite. Because they're saying, and that's why I'm so happy you're here today, they're saying to you, just be exactly where you are. And this is your chance in life to find that true nature, truly to find it. Not to do rituals, to find it inside yourself. That's what I feel is being said to you. Really, really, really. And if you do that and you take time and try and absorb some of this, you'll find the most unbelievable things happen to you. Okay, because you'll find that your spirit, Kasturi's always been a very spiritual person, even if she was following the Hindu path more than the Buddhist path, till recent years. But, such a dedication to that pathway. But maybe now what they're asking you is to do a leap. And the way some of us do a leap is by being confined. I mean, I did that leap because I wasn't able to stay at the monastery. I was pushed out because the permits weren't right. And when I look back, I think the horror that I felt at that time was too terrible. But when I look back, it's because of that I could discover this. Remember that. It's really important. It really is. Because we're so impatient with ourselves. Let me see. Wahida helps me to take my attachment to personal separate identity out of the equation. Just let me get this from you so that I can see. Chat, hang on. I just want to read it. Helps me take my attachment to personal separate identity out of the equation. Congratulations. The peaceful and wrathful are the opposite of the same Buddha mind. Emanations, worldviews, and emotions are ever-changing projections of the same Buddha mind. 100%. You've got it. Okay. What we are saying is what you have to do in your life is really use it, attain merit, do the good things you can do. But whatever you do, it's all temporary. And one day in the not so distant future, it's all going to come to an end. And then the most important thing is that you have found who you are. And this is who you are. You are so much more. And that's all I do with people in terrible situations. I just say to them, don't focus and look at that situation all the time. Rather step back and see exactly what it is that you are trying, that is being shown to you so that you can free yourself. It's really important, okay? And when Gatrul Rinpoche first taught these sacred teachings, he taught them in a very beautiful way. His teaching is in that book, Natural Liberation. He commented on the text to be practiced by us for motivation of the main text. And the main text was called, listen carefully, Preliminary Practice for Subduing Your Own Mind Stream, an appendix to the natural emergence of the peaceful and wrathful from enlightened awareness, experiential instructions on the transitional process. Now, what's the transitional process? The transitional process for all of you and me is to do the basic preliminary practices. I do not care a damn if you do these practices absolutely by the book, or if you do the practices in your heart. Doesn't make any difference as long as you really do them. So first of all, the 4 mind changes he talks about. The 4 mind changes. We can take one of the 4 mind changes, even if you've done it a lot in the past. Take the 4 mind changes and contemplate them again and again and again. When you go walking to work, contemplate one of them. When you're cooking, contemplate one of them. When you're in the bathroom, contemplate one of them. The 4 mind changes, because these are the things. It's like if you came to me and you said to me, Melanie, I want to grow these beautiful seeds, okay? And I've got this garden here, I'm going to grow them. And I looked at the garden and the soil was really shallow, ugly. There was no digging, there was no fertilizer in it or anything. I'd say, planting your seeds there is not a great idea, okay, because they're not going to grow. I would say, fix your soil, dig it up, put the fertilizer, prepare the soil, and then you can put the seeds in. Now, this is how You prepare the soil of your mind, okay? Number one, the first mind changer, the preciousness of human birth. Okay, you can look them up, you can Google them, but you should walk around really contemplating the preciousness of human birth. You know, David, what you said to me about the wrathful deities, I mean, when I look at your life, I think you've really got a precious human birth, because I think instead of like most people who've got to work full time, you know, you've had time to really do your, that is very big merit. And so what I'm saying is, if you contemplate the preciousness of human birth, even in your own way, you will see a change start. You'll say, it's absolutely amazing. Here I am, and I've got this chance, and I'm sitting here. It's a Monday morning. I'm not at work. I'm able to really sit here and contemplate it. The preciousness of human birth, I'm not going to detail. Impermanence and death. Those are your other two things of your mind changes. You really, really contemplate them all the time. This is temporary. This is transient. This is impermanent. My children are impermanent. My family is impermanent. My home's impermanent. I'm impermanent. We all just transitory. You contemplate impermanence all the time and death. That's the second one. The third one is karma, cause and effect. You contemplate that on a relative level, whatever you sow, so you'll reap. Not simple, but very complex. But you look at it, and ultimately there's no karma. In your great peaceful and wrathful ones, there's no karma. This is only on a relative level. So you contemplate what karma is and how it is. That's the third one. The fourth one is that this temporary transient life, this samsara, whatever you do is suffering ultimately. So they say it's like putting your head on an executioner's block, because even if you have something amazing, I'm going on this travel, I've got this money, I've got this home, I've got this thing, and then it's gone in 1 minute. So when you know that everything you do, even the good things, ultimately are suffering, you contemplate those four, change the mind, and then just very, very briefly, you then do the four preliminary practices. Now, you could do this in your own way, everybody. You could do it by the book, or you could do it in your own way. Last week, I was telling you how to take outer refuge, how to take inner refuge, how to take secret refuge. Secret refuge is when you know you are compiled of the three bodies, Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, Nirmanakaya, and you take refuge in that. But you need to take refuge in the beginning. So read up about it and do it. Ask me with pleasure. I'll help any of you to find your way of taking refuge. I like doing prostrations because I think prostrations clean you up, and I think they make you, they humble you, and they give you a chance to really take that refuge, whatever you're doing. And then after taking refuge and developing bodhicitta, which is I want to help beings, then you do Vajrasattva practice. I don't care if you do a short Vajrasattva practice, but you do that. Now think about this. The 100 syllables of Vajrasattva represent the 100 peaceful and wrathful deities. Now, not only does Vajrasattva cleanse you, but Vajrasattva also gives you the clearing for you to discover this in your own self, which is absolutely stunning. So Vajrasattva, what I do with my Vajrasattva, I don't do millions. I've done the whole Nondra, but now I do it every day, a whole lot. And first I see the 100-syllable mantra in me, and then beneath me, I see all the people that I'm helping and my family, and I take the mantra and put it all into them so they can also cleanse. So some of you might have felt me cleansing you when you're going through hard times. But the thing is, Vajrasattva is vital, because in the empowerments of the deities, Vajrasattva gives that empowerment. Vajrasattva is one of the 5 deities, but Vajrasattva is also in the center of you, giving you the empowerments that you need for the deities. So it's really important that you make that connection. Ask me, I'll help you with pleasure. And then the third one, your mandala offering. Now listen carefully to me. I don't care if you do a formal mandala offering or you do your own. I am perfectly happy. Just think about a mandala, think about a lovely circle in its beauty, and just sit on the floor and offer. You say, I'm offering the mandala of my heart. I like doing the formal together with my own, but you can just do your own. You can say, I'm offering my beauty, my dedication, my good housework, my beautiful cooking, if you're a good cook. I'm offering all my talents. You can offer Eid, all the drawings I'm doing for the groups, all the things that I do. You can offer everything you can offer in your mandala offering, even your work. You can say, may my work bless lots of people. I'm offering my work. I'm offering my being. I'm offering my devotion. Whatever you want. Make up your own mandala if you don't want to do a formal one. But do the offering. Because the offering is what makes it possible to receive. If you haven't offered anything and you're just asking, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, but you're not offering anything, there's no exchange. So even in your state, Kasturi, even in your state, you're starting off with a mandala offering of this is what I have. I want to go out. I want to walk. I want to help people. I want to everything. David, you saying, I want to give all the things that I've learned to all the people around me. I can see lots of people walking in your place today. So you really, really offer whatever it is. And those things, he says, it's so important for students who really want to get to realization. In the beginning of the texts of the peaceful and wrathful deities, you always do preliminary practices. And I do them every single day, even though I completed my Nundra. I don't do millions. I do 12, whatever I'm doing and how much I want to do. Gautro Rinpoche says, and he's a very good teacher, he was a good teacher, says the very fact that you're still attached to the cycle of existence is itself proof that you do not know the preliminaries. Now, just to give you, oh, sure, but didn't I bring it here? Oh. Melanie, just wait 1 second, everybody. I'll be 1 second. Think about what I'm saying. I thought I brought everything this morning. I seem to every time have to get up and go and get what I forget. I took everything out this morning. Just 1 minute because I want to read you this story. Hot now. It was so cold and rainy this morning and it's boiling now. Okay, so this is the book. Okay, The Natural Liberation. I just want to read you this little story. There's a story of a great Lama in Tibet. Various Lamas would come to visit him and he'd greet them. When one monk visited him, he asked what he knew about a certain Lama. The monk told him, oh, he's doing great work. He's built stupas, printed Dharma books, and established monasteries and temples. Upon hearing this, the Lama said, oh, that's good, but isn't it great to practice genuine Dharma? On another occasion, he asked about another Lama. The monk responded, "Oh, he's doing such good work. He's teaching the Dharma. He has many disciples." The Lama said, "That's very good, but how good is it to practice genuine Dharma?" On another occasion, he asked about yet another Lama, and the monk responded, "Oh, he's in very strict retreat reciting mantras." The old Lama said, "Oh, that's very good, but how good is it to practice genuine Dharma?" On another occasion, he asked about another Lama. The monk responded, "Oh, him. He sits around, he puts his robe over his head, and he cries all the time." And the old Lama said, "Oh, he's practicing genuine Dharma." Don't think that this man, said Gautreau Rinpoche, had fallen into some chronic depression. He was weeping out of compassion. If you truly want to serve the needs of others, such genuine compassion is necessary to be of effective, genuine service to others. In contrast, when we lack such compassion and wisdom and put on some pretense of trying to serve others, the chances are we'll wind up serving our own self-interest while presenting an outer semblance of being purely altruistic. When we start mixing Dharma and mundane things, we run into our danger. And he says, when we lead our lives, it's like a spider spinning a web, and eventually we're caught in our own web. He said that the spider looks as though he's really doing a good job spinning his web, but actually he's spinning it so he can catch insects. Okay, that's his nature, is going to catch insects. And he says, be careful, they're waiting to catch insects and eat them. Okay, fair enough. The spider arachne is doing his job, but it's not only your job. It's when you feel inside you such complete compassion, then you are ready to discover the 100 deities inside you. You do need to make yourself ready. It's like really, really important that you do. Please, Kasturi, go for it. We're happy to have you.
It's a constant challenge, but Melanie, it's constantly challenging you. I went for hydrotherapy on Thursday, and guess what? I walked in the water freely, unaided. I was walking, but come onto the land, you can't walk.
Okay.
So this is constantly in my face. You
what is constantly in your face? Can you tell me?
I feel cheated sometimes. It's almost as if these deities are playing games with me. They pick me up on the one day and then smack me on another day to say, no, you're just not getting it right. You can't do it. And then you fall over the place. It's disappointing.
You know what, my Babala? It's so important that you understand this. Just mute yourself so we don't get the videos mixed. It's so important. One day you are going to say to me, oh, now I understand. Because none of us, and this applies to every one of you, none of us are thrown about in vain. None of us get suffering in vain. None of us are pushed too hard, because it's all our own creation. And I say this to people every single day, when people say, it's just not fair. Look what I've done. Look what I've got. I haven't got any money. I haven't got a job. I haven't got this. I haven't got that. And I go, but just stop for 1 minute and see. If you could see that this is where you are being totally cleansed so that you can find this inner part of you. It's so important, because a lot of us, if we look back at previous lives, we have these momentums of stubbornness, these momentums of absolute pride, these momentums of not caring, these momentums of not. When someone said to me the other day, I don't understand. My parents didn't give me what I want. They just couldn't see me. My ex-husband certainly didn't give me what I want. That's why I divorced him. My son is just not giving me, is just not helping me. Then I just go, look at the repetitive karmic imprint. Look in the mirror and see what you are being told. Okay, clearly when you get that, the people close to you just can't see you. You're getting trained. You're getting honed. You're getting tempered. You're getting cleansed. So that if you can, even for one moment, just accept it, you are there. As soon as you are able to do this, you will be able to feel it. Now, when Tulku Urgent Rinpoche, he is my everything. I mean, I just love him to pieces. Okay, I can even hear his laughter when he teaches the subject. I can hear him, it says in the book, laughter. I can actually hear his laughter in my ears because he has such joy teaching that he laughs. In his book, it's called Discovering Your True Nature. For me, it's the most wonderful, inspiring teaching, and I follow it all. And it's called Kunzang Tuktik. And as I told you, that comes out of the Carling Shitro. It's just a short version. Now, if you have this book, you can go and read it because it has 3 termas in it. The first one is called Lejang. That's the actual sadhana. Now, if you just read it, it is fascinating. Because if you go to the Lejang, it's so absolutely fascinating because it actually tells you, it starts off by saying, I take refuge in the Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, Nirmanakaya. Then it goes, I really want to help all beings to make it. Then it goes, listen to this ordinary body of momentary delusion is really a primordial pure body of light. In a state of brightness, I visualize distinct and perfect, the naturally present Vajrasattva. It's in you, right in you, the naturally present. Then it goes, Om Vajrasattva Ah, Om Vajrasattva Ah. That mantra, I do it every day. Om Vajrasattva Ah, I've got it in me. And then it goes on, you offer a mandala of space and awareness. You just offer it in a beautiful way. And then it goes on to the short Guru Yoga. And then it goes on to being in your beautiful self and just offering everything you've got. Now, when you look at that, it's absolutely amazing, the Lejang. And he says there's the Lejang, there's the extraordinary empowerment, there's the Triyog, the guidance. And he says, Karma Lingpa explained this text. Padmasambhava explained, this is a complete sadhana condensed from all the tantras. So every deity practice you get, it's all together. He says, it is simple to apply, concise and complete for the benefit of future generations. May it meet with the destined one. The destined one is Choco Lingpa, who later revealed it. And I just want to say one thing, and then I'm opening again. The text also mentions that Yeshe Tsogyal should write it down for this purpose, and that the Dzogchen teachings will flourish at the end of the dark age. Now, what does this mean? So important. What does it mean? These highest simple teachings will flourish at the end of the dark age. What does it mean? Why at the end of a dark age? I was watching on the television all the things that were going on in Iran, and all these bombs and all these missiles and all these everything that was going on. And I just felt this sick feeling. I mean, obviously, if you've got family in any of these places, you actually feel very strongly, even more strongly about it, because you're phoning your family all the time. Are they all right? Are they okay? And everything. It's a horrible thing. And yet, Guru Rinpoche says the Dzogchen teachings will flourish at the end of this dark age. When I look at this war, it is maybe the culmination of such darkness, of people who really want to suppress the minds of other people, of people who really want to have killing as their daily slogan. If you don't believe what they want to do, you lose your life or you go into jail. Okay, of people who think nothing, that their perverted minds are what the truth is about. And so what Guru Rinpoche has done, he's given these magnificent teachings for this particular age. Why? You tell me. Karen, what do you want to say about that? Why has he given them? Why does he say they will flourish in the darkest times? I don't want to tell you the answer. I know the answer, but just tell me what it means. Karen, are you not answering us today? Know what she's doing today? Anyone? Just think about it. In the darkest time, when
I
killing,
think we've had to reach this point to awaken to a new reality. And if everything was just happy days and all honky-dory and sweetness and light, we wouldn't have woken up to the fact that we have to have change.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. Exactly what I wanted to say. So these amazing teachings are brought specially so we can change, so we have an opportunity, and they are so simple. You know, these are not complex. What we do with our lives is complex, not these teachings. We make everything complicated. Whatever we've got, we make it complicated. These teachings are so simple. You've got primordial purity and you've got its expression, which we'll talk about next time. I want to give you a meditation. But if you just look at that and you think about what he's saying, that those highest, most simple teachings will flourish in the dark age, that is for me the most phenomenal thing. Sacred and auspicious. Luce, you're very quiet, but the thing is that, you know what? I know you're also going through hard times and everything with lots of things on your plate. And Lamayeshi, I saw him yesterday, told me seen you. But the thing is that a lot of us are going through very hard things. A lot of us are stressed and going through a lot of difficult things. But that's when you can get this. That's when you can say, there's a me and I just going through this difficult pathway. But there's also a whole beautiful nature of mind of me. And that can tolerate everything that there is. Now let's do a meditation. As you breathe in to the beautiful, spacious, open, emptiness, full of possibility, nature of your mind. As you breathe into it, just allow it to flow through your whole being. As you do this practice, you allow each of the 5 wisdom families to flow through you and cleanse you. I love it. Today when I was doing it, I just felt this beautiful, clean, awakened time. And as you breathe out all the stuff that you are hanging on to, everything that seems to be completely and totally preoccupying you, but isn't anything that you need to hang on to. Because if you understand the basic things, everything comes out of the essence and it all goes back again. So if you let things be, sometimes you have to take some action, but as soon as you've done that, you let go, you let be, and then it goes back into its natural state. I want to read you one thing now while you are sitting in this meditative state. In actuality, all that appears and exists, that's everything in your world, all that appears and exists, all worlds, all beings, are the spontaneous presence, which is the mandala of the 100 deities, the victorious ones, the mandala of the 5 male and female Buddhas and their entourages. Actually, everything in your life and in you is this, the mandala of the beautiful qualities that you have. This is simply how it already is. We train ourselves in what really is, nothing more. All the ugliness that we see around us, all the difficulties, the wars, the problems with our kids, the difficulties in the world, your own self is nothing but that, the mandala of the 100 deities. And you can leave the word deities, the peaceful and wrathful. Ones if you want, or nothing, just the peaceful and wrathful. As soon as we know this, recognize, know this, as soon as we know this, then all the confusion is liberated. I'm saying that again. As soon as we recognize our natural state, the ultimate bodhicitta, then all our confusion is liberated. Everything that we are doing is liberated. Whatever you are going through, keep in mind in the background who you really are and who everybody is around you. Make a vow that you want to help all those beings around you to liberate their confusion. As soon as we liberate the confusion, we are right there, ready, awake, alive, happy to just let it all be. Every single day of your life, wake up in the morning and remember your essence. And don't think of it out there. Think of it in here, in your Vajra body. As soon as you can do that, you've already welcomed it into your being, and then everything becomes manifest for you. Do not forget, when you are stressed, when you are under the weather, to breathe in that beautiful nature. Breathe it into your being. Allow it to work through you. You will find that everything flows. You will always be in the right place at the right time. You will always be doing what you are meant to be doing here. That's just a little introduction. So next week we will continue with that introduction and really take it to a level, the next level where you could start working with it. Because that's what we all want to do, work with it. Yeah, Mimi?
Mel, I just want to clarify, I do Vajrasattva, and you said that that she's the empowerment of the deities, the center of you, giving you the empowerment you need. Now, I just want to ask this. I have the empowerments of the practices, but I only have the lung, not the actual empowerment of the medicine Buddha. Now, would it be possible to ask for that? Because I feel during the medicine Buddha, I need the actual empowerment.
Look, you do need the empowerments, but always remember, especially if you've got the lung, and especially like with the medicine Buddha, some of these Mahayana practices, okay, or the lower tantras, you could say, I'd really like to get the empowerment when the opportunity presents itself. You can keep asking and say, I'd really like to, and you'll get it in the near future. But don't worry about it. Just do it, because, I kind of think, even with some, like, I'm doing this 100 deity practice. Now, I'm not doing it as a practice. I'm just doing it as a contemplation and I'm doing it as a contemplation and a pondering. And you really do need 5 years of empowerment, which I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get in this life. And if Tai Situ doesn't do it, I don't know who would do it. But the point is, it's interesting, because Annie Lama told me yesterday that actually when Akon Rinpoche gives the medicine Buddha empowerment, or any of the empowerments, he also gives you the empowerment for the 100 deities. So some of us don't even know we've got it. So, my best bet is, since we haven't got people around here, we can't go to the monastery and just say, please, I want this empowerment. Just do it and say to Guru Rinpoche or whoever, I'm doing this without. You can do Tara without an empowerment. You could do the medicine Buddha without an empowerment. For absolute sure, I heard Lama Zangmo telling her, the 100 deities, I can't say to you, I'm doing the practice. What I'm doing is, every day I'm reading that Lei Jung and the preliminaries and everything, because I'm really doing it. So one day, willy-nilly, I hope that I will be able to see it, or at least when I die, I'll be able to get that, from doing it and being very familiar with it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So don't worry too much about it. Just do what your heart tells you to do. It's really important. And get the empowerment, obviously, when you can.
Thank you. I just was interested that Vajrasattva is the kind of link for empowerments.
Yeah, Vajrasattva is the one in the Kunzang Tuktik who gives the empowerments. And then I often think, wow, and it says Vajrasattva in me. It doesn't even say Vajrasattva there. So then you're looking at I've got Vajrasattva in me. So that's so amazing. Think about that, yeah, Bern.
Can I just check something? When we got Mahamudra empowerments, did we not automatically get Vajrasattva at that point? Because I was under the impression I got. I think were
we
you
did.
there? I can't remember, but I remember getting it with the Mahamudra.
Yeah.
There was a whole group of us. I think
If you
Patricia also. Patricia's not here. I think we
Yeah.
all got it at
I
that
think
time.
you're right. I think it does come, and a lot of the empowerments come with
We
other
did get
things.
Vajrasattva. We got a separate empowerment, but not the medicine Buddha. Thanks.
Okay, but the medicine Buddha
Yeah.
doesn't matter. You could do it without. Okay. It's important that. But let's dedicate, and then I'll stay if anybody wants to ask any questions. I really want to dedicate this. Yes, please.
Before you stop, huh?
Please, now I'm trying to get you and you didn't answer. Okay.
Have anything to really say? I mean, I think for Kastari and anyone else is that, you've had, I mean, because I know chronic pain, but I'm saying is in some days I can walk and some days like today I can hobble, but what I do, I don't focus on me. You must just think that there are
hundreds
of people right now, 24 hours a day, let's say in this time, who are praying, to use the word praying for you, doing the medicine Buddha for you, doing everything for you. So if you tap into that, you actually feel this lightness, and then everything vanishes, and you can offer that as what I do, but you can offer that as your mandala. So you are taking and you're giving the same thing back.
Beautiful.
I've got no empowerments actually. I'm saying, and I've had no problem doing the practice. Why that's why I'm interrupting now, because I'm saying is I could tap into that. So I mean those people who, and not even people, anyway, who are Buddhas, I'm saying who are doing the practices, enlightened beings, that's the word I want, who are doing the practices, you could tap into that, and then that is the empowerment. So that's what I've got to say, and either I'm right or wrong, but that's it.
I agree with you. No, thank you, Andrew. You haven't got any empowerment. You know what? I really think that we are also, everybody, in quite a unique situation. Just mute yourself, Corin. We're in quite a unique situation in South Africa because some of the people, wherever they are, really, really, really have got lamas around them who are giving empowerments and everything. We don't. And I really think in this age, if you have a real dedicated devotion to Guru Rinpoche and to the Dharma and to everything, it doesn't really matter. You just say, I want to do it because I know that I'm doing this 100 deity practice and I haven't got the empowerment. But yet Annie Lama said to me yesterday, you have got an empowerment. You didn't even know you got it. She told me that. So it's quite interesting, to see that sometimes we do get empowerments. We don't even know what they are. But don't be neurotic about it. You just say to Guru Rinpoche, say to yourself, say to your Vajrasattva inside you, I'm going to do this practice. I'm doing it with total devotion and dedication. And when the time comes, it would be lovely if I could get a transmission. Just say a transmission on it. But it's really okay. I mean,
now, I understand it's okay, but from my experience, when you did the actual empowerments, it lights something in you. It lights it.
It does.
So that's something, that's
I know
important.
that Gail doesn't do a lot of the practices and everything, but when we did Kuntazanpo and she came out, now Kuntazanpo is another one, which is everything, it's absolutely everything. And so doing that, you can feel empowered because these things are internal, not external. So let's really dedicate for all the people. First of all the people who are caught in the wars, all the people who are caught in delusions, all these terrible things. Let's dedicate whatever merit there is from today's teaching. Through this merit, may all beings attain omniscience, may all obscurations fall away from the stormy waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death. From the ocean of samsara, may all beings be freed. Sonam die tamche zipane topne nepe dranam pamshene chega nachi balak dropaye sipe sole dowa dro warsho. So everybody, I'm